biggest fears were sharks. And every time I got in the water, I was thinking about sharks. We knew there were sharks in the harbour. And so I was thinking, when we get trained traditionally, when we're finning, we cross our arms over our chest and we fin like that to be more streamlined or whatever. Personally, I like to have my hands in the water. Well, I wasn't in a rush. I like to feel the water and just kind of doing that. And then I was thinking, if a shark attacked me, where would it be better to have my hands? Down here, it could pin it by my side, but then it could get my vital organs. Or if I did it traditionally like this, I could kind of protect my heart, my lungs. And I put my hands by my side, looked over my left shoulder to make sure that I was going in the right direction, and a bull shark grabbed me.
And what did it feel like?
At that point, it didn't feel like anything. It felt like someone had hit me in the leg. And so I turned around and looked down, expecting, maybe the guys in the boat got a little bit too close. My ears were full of water, I don't know, a log. And then I come face to face with literally my worst nightmare. There's a giant shark head attached to my leg.
How big was it?
The scientists measured the bite in my wetsuit and my leg, and they said it was between 2.7 to 3 meters. So around 8.5 foot to 9.5 foot. Huge, big, yeah. And it didn't hurt. The teeth on these animals are so sharp and they have this coating on them. They just slide straight into flesh. So at that point, it didn't even hurt. I was just shocked. And then I thought, I've seen Shark Week. I've got to jab it in the eyeball. And so I'm trying, but I can't move my hand. I don't know why. My arm won't work. And I look down and the teeth embedded into my wrist. And every time I try and pull it, I can see the flesh tearing. And then I see the teeth all along, half embedded into my wetsuit. And so I think, okay, left hand. And I reach over, but the eye's just an inch away from my finger and I can't get it. So I grab it by the nose here and I'm trying to lever it off me. But this is like a 600-pound animal. And all that did was push the teeth of the lower jaw deeper into my leg as I pushed like that. So that was when I felt an inkling of the pain. Then I went to cock it back and punch it in the nose, he punched it in the nose. So I went to do that. But as I did that, I guess the shark decided I was food and it started to shake me. And the teeth saw in unison like that. So as it shook me, it was sawing the flesh out of my body. And it took me underwater. And we popped to the surface again. I took a quick gasp of air because I knew I was going back down. And it took me back down again and just shook me like a rag doll. And the pain was unbelievable. People ask me if it hurt. I'm like, I can't even tell you how much it hurt. It's just off the charts pain.
How did you not pass out?
I don't know. I was also drowning at the same time because I just yelled. And so my teammates had seen the ruckus, heard me yell, and then go underwater again. And so this thing's just shaking me. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not going home today. I'm going to die right now. And then it wasn't like time slowed down. Like everyone says, in those moments, time slows down. It's more like everything sped up. Our minds and our bodies are such incredible machines. The adrenaline must have kicked in. And I was thinking everything in the blink of an eye. And I thought, am I ready to die? And I looked back on who I was, that lost, confused, struggling kid, to all of the things that I'd done and the level that I'd reached in the Navy and all of the adventures. And I thought, you know what? I've lived 10 lives in these 31 years. If I'm going to die, I'm ready to go. And so I just let go. And I was just waiting to die. And then the shark's teeth met in the middle, ripped the hamstring out of my leg, ripped my hand off. I didn't know this because I couldn't see anything. It was just like blood everywhere. And all of a sudden, because I wasn't attached to it, because it had already taken out my parts of my limbs and I guess swam away, my wetsuit made me buoyant. So I popped to the surface and I saw my safety boat. And I thought, I've got to get out of here before it comes back. There's got to be blood in the water. The sharks will smell it. You hear sharks can smell a drop of blood in 10,000 leagues of ocean. So there's going to be sharks coming in. I've got to get back to the boat. So I start to swim, but my hand was gone. And my arm ended at the end of my wetsuit. So medical training kicked in. I've got to keep that wound above my heart to stem the bleeding, not knowing that my leg was pissing blood. I didn't even know what was wrong with it, or I just couldn't feel it. I had no idea. So I'm swimming back to the safety boat, one arm out of the water, one leg working through a pool of my own blood. And the guys in the safety boat at the same time coming towards me. And they said the blood was so thick they could actually taste it in the air. But I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought, this shark's going to come back. I was just waiting for it to grab my ankle, grab my leg and pull me under. But I had one job to do. And this is a good thing about the military training at the very elite level. Like, you get laser-like focus. I had one job. All I got to do was get to the boat. So it doesn't matter what happens between now and then, my goal is that boat. And so I just swam. I wasn't going very fast, one leg in one hand, but the guys were coming to me at the same time. And so fortunately, they got to me before the shark came back, pulled me into the boat, and just out of the sheer relief of not getting eaten anymore, I relaxed, my eyes rolled back in my head, and I passed out. Now, my team sprung into action. Medical training kicked in, and my mate Tomo, who's this little Papua New Guinean guy, love him to death, he thinks I'm going into cardiac arrest, so he starts stimulating my heart, what we refer to as a series of short, sharp jabs to the chest. And that worked. I woke up and I looked over and my hand was gone, freshly ripped off by a shark. I look up, Tomo's beating the shit out of me, and I remember thinking, today sucks.
Oh.